Director Heckman, can you please establish a quorum?
Director Castellano.
Here.
Director Louis Lusso.
Here.
Director Madrone.
Present.
Director Katie. Director Wilson. Director Matthews is absent.
Thank you. Okay, item number 2 on our agenda for the evening, the consent calendar. All matters listed under the consent calendar are considered to be routine by the HWMA board and will be enacted upon by one motion unless a specific request for review is made by a board member or a member of the public. The consent calendar will not be read. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless pulled for discussion. Does anybody need to pull an item from the consent calendar?
I move the consent calendar.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the consent calendar. Okay, we have a motion to approve and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, moving on to oral and written communications. This time is provided for people to address the board or to submit written communications concerning matters not on this agenda. Board members may respond to statements, but any requests that requires board action will be referred to staff for review. Is there any oral or written communications that have been submitted to us at this point?
None submitted, and I'm seeing none online either.
Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on to, anybody from the public? Okay, thank you. All right, item number 4 is to approve resolution 2026-06 authorizing investment in California CLASS. And Director Heckman, do you have this item for discussion?
Yes, Vice Chair. Thank you.
Thank you.
So in 2009, the board originally adopted a resolution allowing the authority flexibility to invest funds in things that we call local agency investment funds, or LAIF for short. In November of 2023, the board passed a additional resolution, 2024-03, reauthorizing the investment of authority funds and broadening it to funds outside of just the LAIF group. The push for this resolution and the expansion came directly from Director Castellano. She asked during our 2023-24 budget review what we were doing with our excess funding, how we were investing it. At the time, the authority had not invested any of it. And for really the life of the authority, we had not invested any of it, even though we did have a resolution on file since 2009. Director Schwartz and I took a look as far back as we could, and we could not see any time that the authority had invested any of our assets or funds in any type of funding. So with the adoption of 2024-03 reauthorizing that, we utilized LAIF after that adoption of the resolution, and it is currently being used for the authority's reserve funds. It has certain limitations and requirements, with one of the main issues being all monies held within a singular fund. In order to diversify our allowable investments, staff reached out to several local agencies and members on other potential avenues for investments. The California Cooperative Liquid Assets Security System, or CLASS, is one of those funds. CLASS offers similar return rates as LAIF with comparable risk profiles while providing the authority a bit more flexibility than LAIF currently offers. So we will continue to have our operating reserve fund in LAIF, and we will be placing some of our other reserve funds in the CLASS system. This will allow staff to better diversify those non-operational funds while earning higher returns than the current money market accounts that they reside in. With that, staff recommends that the board adopt Resolution 2026-06 to authorize investment in the CLASS Prime Fund.
Okay, thank you. Does anybody have any questions about this? Director Castellano?
Thank you. firstly, thank you for continuing to kind of look into this and exercise good fiscal management. I was just curious, kind of do you have a sense of what the interest rates are on those funds or the return? And then I'm imagining if the operating reserve is going to stay with LAIF, then we're kind of looking at like the capital improvement fund or or some of those other funds. Is that what you're imagining?
Yeah, Director Schwartz can
Thank you.
talk directly to that.
Thank you. Yeah. So the daily yields right now for class are 4.1467%. The 30-day yield is 4.2.
Mike, oh, yeah.
The daily yield for class is 4.1467%. The 30-day yield is 4.2249. So this is very similar to LAIF. Right now LAIF is the 30-day yield is at 4.212%. So they're very similar, but very much higher than the money markets that we were utilizing, which are significantly lower. And the other reserves that we would be investing in class with the operating reserve remaining in LAIF, class could hold our capital improvement fund, which is our second largest. We also have the long-term funding, which is set aside as part of the countywide fees. We also have an employee reserve and a rate stabilization reserve. So there are 4 smaller reserves that can be segregated into sub-accounts in class, and that's the intention. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other comments or questions? Okay, seeing none, we will need a motion.
I make a motion we adopt Resolution 2026-06 authorizing investment in the California Class Prime Fund.
Second,
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
public comment.
Is there any public comment on this item?
Seeing none, Vice Chair.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. Moving on to item number 5, we are going to receive an update on the salary survey.
Thank you, Vice Chair. So for a bit of history about the authority's previous salary survey and some of the driving forces for the upcoming salary survey this fiscal year. So the previous survey took place in fiscal year 2019-2020. Prior to this, the authority had never undergone a compensation or salary survey in its history. The methodology for determining wages back then had simply been cost of living increases based on the previous salary scales as amended and member agency increases to semi-comparable staff positions. At the time, the board had expressed interest in a rolling schedule for undertaking compensation studies to ensure the authority staff wages remain competitive with member agencies and the market at large. With that direction, the intent from previous boards, this board directed staff during fiscal year 24-25 budget process to investigate not only additional benefit opportunities, but schedule a salary survey for the upcoming fiscal year 25-26. A little background about the 2020 study. Obviously, the initial study conducted in 2020 was spearheaded by Koff and Associates, a firm that the authority had worked with extensively at the time for job search activities and other staff-related items. The report utilized a total compensation metric, which included benefits and wages for the cost analysis. The report noted at the time almost 70% of the authority's current job classifications were below the market median when adjusted for regional costs. This resulted in a complete overhaul at the time of certain job descriptions, including the consolidation of positions and new pay scales established across the board for every position at the authority. These changes were then implemented in fiscal year 2020-21 budget. So this slide will represent the timeline and critical pathway for this upcoming salary survey that's going to be taking place in fiscal year 25-26. So as noted earlier, this board directed staff to schedule an updated compensation study to take place in this coming fiscal year, which is the current fiscal year that we are in now. Proposals from qualified consultants were obtained in July of 2025. Gallagher Consulting, formerly Coffin Associates, was the firm chosen in July of 2025 as the successful consultant. Once a consultant was chosen, at that time, HWMA staff began to prep the necessary documentation needed for the consultant and the compensation study. This included current job descriptions and salary schedules for the authority. Survey work then began in September, with data collection projected to end sometime in mid-November. Staff then anticipates the final data and report will be finalized by January of 2026, with the report and recommendations being presented to this board either at the January or February HWMA board meeting. Once received by the board and direction provided, staff will then implement that direction into the development of the fiscal year 26-27 budget. So obviously the survey is still ongoing, but we really wanted to give you guys an update on its progress and then what to look forward to in the next coming months and prior to that upcoming fiscal year. So I would be happy to answer any questions that you may have, obviously with the brevity of the survey as it is now.
Thank you very much. That was very, very nice overview of what we should anticipate. Do you have access to the prior survey?
Yes, I do.
And what was the FTE change between then in 2019, 2020 and now? I mean, estimate.
You would not be able to make a direct comparison between the time change then and now, because we've had several reshuffles during that time. So when the original salary survey was done, the Environmental Health and Safety Division did not exist. Now we have an entire Environmental Health and Safety Division. Right. Some of that it was born out of some other direction as well. We've consolidated a lot of our programs as well. So we've reduced program staff. We've increased some MDT staff. We've completely gotten rid of our Eureka Recycling Center. So unfortunately it's very difficult to do a one-for-one comparison, because from 2020 to now, we've had a pretty significant shuffling in FTEs across the board, quite honestly.
Sounds like it. Thank you. Okay. Any other comments or questions about this?
Are you using the same Kopf and Associates, or is it who's doing the salary survey now?
So Gallagher Consultants.
Okay.
But they are formerly Coffin Associates.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they have, I'm not 100% sure if Gallagher purchased Coff or if there was a name change or retirement, but in general, that is going to be the same firm. It just goes by a different name now.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
The only other comment, we've had Coffin Associates do Red Dell several times. They've gone through and they're pretty adequate. They do a real comprehensive look at what they're doing. So I agree with the agency using them. Turn on your microphone, please. Mike?
Thank you. Oh, Mike.
No, I'm done. I'm just going to say that Red Dell has used Coffin Associates several times, and they've done a really adequate job with the surveys. Because we do a competitive one with other cities and like-minded, and the positions. And so I'm pleased with HWMA using this company.
That's great. Thank you.
I'm just curious if, because I know several jurisdictions at least, have used Gallagher once cough.
Cough.
You know, I mean, I know why people do them individually, but it also seems like, has anyone heard of like jurisdictions collaborating on a salary survey? I'm like, we could just do it all at once, you know, like for the county. Has anyone heard of that, or it's just more of like a curiosity? Okay.
What
Cool.
what I didn't quite get your question.
Oh, you know, like if Rio Dell and the city of Eureka and HWMA and, you know, are all doing hiring the same entity to do salary comparisons, it seems like there could be some cost sharing to collaborate on multiple jurisdictions. I mean, I can see for competitive competition's sake why people may not want to, but I could see at least getting like a rough go. I don't know. Anyway,
I think if you had a comparable jurisdiction,
yeah,
like comparing Blue Lake to Arcata is, you know, we're 1/10.
sure, that can be
Because
accounted for.
we've been looking at some salary stuff too, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good idea to do some collaboration
Yeah.
if possible.
Anyway,
It might work for some departments, but for instance, with law enforcement, all the agencies are battling with each other to steal each other's personnel. Oh, we'll give you a $20,000 bonus. Oh, we're doing 30. You know, it's like, so there's some competitiveness in the whole process there,
Yeah.
given the limited personnel available for some of these departments and stuff. Now, we don't have law enforcement, but I mean, I like the idea. It certainly should be explored whenever something like that is possible, but salary compensation becomes such a complicated issue when you start comparing
yeah.
and bringing everybody to the same table, possibly. I don't know. I've never done it, so.
Would be
Well, we've
interesting.
done. They have other cities. The cities aren't really to my. You know, I know I just spoke favorably about Coffin Associates, but to get cities that had the same like things was a challenge, because we have a water and sewer, and we also have a police department. A lot of the smaller cities, they don't have some of the same issues. One is like Ferndale doesn't have a water and sewer similar to ours, but we wanted them as a small cities under the 5,000 or whatever type stuff, and it's hard to get. The cities under 5,000 are getting harder to come by, but they look at the big thing they look at is the benefits, and in most cases, the few years that we've done it, and I think when we did the thing previously here with the wages are marginal in comparison, but the benefits outweigh, really make these small agencies better for who they are. And so it's in the interest of the employee to stay with a smaller company, a smaller outfit.
Yeah.
And we're not PERS either, so that takes that out of the equation.
Great
But
point.
to do the study you'd like to have, it's hard to go out and find a bunch of waste management facilities. That's even a bigger challenge than a city, is to find out who. There's just not that many waste management systems around to compare with.
It's true. Okay. Anything else from anybody? Thank you again for that. So next item will be public comment. Any public comment on the presentation? Okay. Seeing none on Zoom?
Seeing none, Vice Chair.
Thank you. So item number 6, standing item board member reports. Does anybody have anything to report out?
It's not so much of a report, but just to say, I'm imagining this is coming, but I'm kind of just curious where we're at with compost, the work that's happening with the compost planning, and also recycling, and kind of where we're at with that. So maybe if other board members are interested at it, the November, December meetings, we could get some updates if that.
So maybe requesting a future agenda item, or perhaps maybe another report from Director Heckman.
Would you like both organics and recycling
Yeah, I think they don't have to be the same month. You know, if
Sure.
you want to do one in November, one in December, or something like that, that might be good.
Okay, we can do that.
Yes.
I just want to report that I produced 100 bags, 2 cubic foot bags of compost out of my system this year. So, home composting, love it.
Wow. That's fantastic. That's really great. I would like to see your system, I think. I need some ideas. Okay, anybody else with any reports? All right, seeing none. Director Heckman's report.
Nothing to report at this time, Vice Chair. Thank you.
Okay. All right, so are we good to adjourn? Seeing nothing else? Okay. We are adjourned. Thank you.